Archetypes are a concept introduced by Carl Gustav Jung in his works, and are an integral part of Jungian psychology. Jung describes archetypes as typical attitudes, ways of behaving, and ideal forms and drives that must constitute the typically instinctive behavior of humanity. Ideas constantly present in the human mind throughout history. These ideas can be manifested in multiple ways, especially in art's many forms. In this series, we take a look at how these archetypes are represented in video games. Welcome to the Game Archetype Library. Lurking in the shadows, waiting for the moment to strike, the Assassins are the unseen hand that help shape the future of the world that they are in. The assassins in fiction are based on their real-world counterparts and their stories. There are many examples to draw from, as assassinations are part of human history for as long as it has been possible to record it. From ancient times to the contemporary age, assassins have played an important role in shaping some of the world's most important events. Assassins differ from the common murderer, as they have a certain motivation to kill the target that they are after, whether it's political, military, personal, or of other kinds. The word assassin derives from Asassin, an order of assassins based on Persia and the Levant, that was formed in 1090 and dissolved in 1275. The purposes and the tools used by the assassins vary depending on the circumstances in which they operate, such as their locations and the periods that they live in. However, the essence of the job remains always the same. Unlike the common warriors that take a more frontal approach, assassins excel in striking suddenly and silently, taking their enemies by surprise. They can sneak in and lurk in the shadows, unbeknownst to their targets, waiting for the right opportunity to strike and deal a fatal blow. Or they can infiltrate their target's location, unsuspiciously hidden in plain sight, by either blending in with crowds for their advantage, or disguising themselves to give a false sense of security for their enemies, just to find the perfect opportunity to complete their mission. Assassins dress themselves accordingly to their silent nature. Clanky armor's heavy vests are substituted by lightweight clothing that allows for better maneuverability and silent footsteps. Daggers, knives, bows, and for modern settings suppressed firearms are preferred over the heavier and louder weapons, with few but deadly accurate strikes being favored over many ineffective ones. Louder approaches are not completely discarded, but they are often more risky and require more finesse to be pulled off, while not raising suspicions and risking their lives. Singling out targets is an important skill for assassins, as they are generally not prepared to take on many, but one person. To achieve that, they must learn how to properly create distractions and be very, very patient. Should they somehow get caught, it is better for assassins to find a way to escape and hide, to replan their moves for a better chance of survival instead of taking on multiple enemies head-on. Assassins are also proficient with setting traps, causing accidents, sabotaging vital structures, and poisoning, which they can do both with weapons imbued with lethal mixtures or by putting them in their target's foods, drinks, or utensils. Assassins in fiction, like the ones in real life, are often part of some order, kept secret from the general public, behaving as secret societies that either act to attend their own interests or someone else's. Their headquarters hidden somewhere undisclosed to the uninitiated. The assassin societies may act contractually in conjecture with other secret societies to perform assassinations that further the interests of their contractors. Due to the idea of secrecy and staying in the shadows, in fiction, assassins are often associated with magical powers or technological devices that may help them enhance their sneaky nature. One of the most common powers attributed to the fictional assassins is invisibility, with them being able to hide right under the enemy's nose and vanish in plain sight when needed. Due to the idea of staying in the shadows, Shadowy powers are also a commonplace, with some assassins being able to conjure illusory images of themselves, using shadow magic to kill their targets, or literally blend in the shadows by becoming part of them. Another common power is the ability to teleport behind their enemies, as it's nothing personal, kid. To compensate for their relative fragility, assassins are often depicted having agility akin to felines, being able to climb walls and objects with ease, balancing themselves on thin structures with no apparent difficulty, being able to mitigate the impact of jumps from high places, and running faster than most. To achieve their goals, assassins excel in adapting to the circumstances and using as many tools available to make their objectives successful. Breaking in properties, stealing, cleaning up the scene, manipulating others into doing their job, and many more questionable actions are just means to an end. Assassins are an archetype directly involved with death, and the historical fearful fascination surrounding it. They are harbingers of a swift and unexpected end, and have the potential of changing the upcoming events based on their actions. It serves as a reminder of the fragile power of humans over the material world, which, if on one hand it is easy to take someone's life, it is equally easy to lose your own. While from the perspective of the assassin, taking one's life is shockingly easy and might make him feel powerful for being able to, it also reminds them that, should they not be careful, they could be the next on the chopping block. They might hide on the shadows for long, but one wrong step and it all goes to waste. When seen from the perspective of a possible victim, the archetype serves as a reminder that death could be hanging around the corner, ready to jump on them from where and when they least expect it. The fear that their enemies could be closer than they think, but they just haven't noticed it yet, and it is a reminder of their mortality. The satisfaction of taking on the role of the assassin doesn't necessarily come from the killing itself, but also from the sense of secrecy, of being privileged, of knowing something that others don't. The dangerous action-packed lifestyle that is often associated and depicted with it, and the thrill of trying to not get caught and be able to perform actions that you wouldn't in real life. Well, at least I hope so. The assassin remains hidden from the eyes of the public, parallel to the rules that reign the common folk, a transgressor, undetected and unpunished by the law. It brings a sense of freedom from the limitations of a common life, surrounded by the judgmental eyes of others. The moments where they are caught or nearly caught serve as a sort of counterbalance to that. A reminder that, should the public try to replicate the transgressions, they would most likely face the consequences like that. It is a way of saying, don't get any wrong ideas. Regardless, the assassin archetype is perfect for stories and worlds that feature intrigue and conspiracies, and it is excellent for when games want to give players the tools to approach combat on their own accord, allowing for multiple unique takes and solutions of one same problem. Versatile, sneaky, and transgressive, the assassin archetype and its variations remain a staple in video games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.